Hey guys, we're going to be taking a look at the LG LRE 3061 ST stainless steel convection oven. It's got a 6.3 cubic foot capacity. It's on the upper end of the 30-inch ovens that you're going to get. It's got an it's all electric range, and electric oven. And it's a pretty good oven. I've got it baking some cookies right now. We've been using it for probably about a month. And it's done a fairly good job. It took a little bit of adjusting to from our old one, but let's go over some of the features it's got. Alright, you can see the control panel here. For all the burners, you just hit on or off, and then if you want to start it at high, you hit the plus. If you want to start it at low, you hit the minus, and from there you can go up. So you just hold it down, and it's got increments of 0.2 under 3, and then when you get up there it goes by half increments all the way up to high, which is 10. Go all the way back down and turn it off. Now the thing that I don't like about that is with a dial, you know, the analog kind, you can just turn it to whatever you want to. With this, it takes a little bit more time to get it there. Not a huge deal, but it's a little bit annoying that, you know, the new digital display is a little less intuitive to use, or less, you know, user friendly than an analog one is. You've got your oven temperature here. That increases while you're, you know, when you set it and it's warming up, it'll keep going up. You've got your timer that's built in. You can set a timer right here, and it'll go off. So I've got about a minute left till this batch of cookies is done. I gotta talk fast here. And then you've got your bake settings. You can do broil, bake, convection bake, and convection roast. When you do convection, it doesn't auto convert, so you set your temperature, and it actually bumps it down 25 degrees, because that's pretty standard for convection. And it will cook quite a bit faster on convection than traditional. You've also got smart diagnosis. If your oven's messing up and doing something weird, you can call customer service and hold your phone up and do the smart diagnosis, and they can actually, you know, I guess it does an audible tone, or it does a sub-audible tone, and you can actually send that over the phone to the tech, and they'll tell you what's wrong with it. Of course, you got start and off. You can also set an oven lockout if you don't want you know, kids turning the oven on or their stovetop. And then over here on this side, you've got a this burner in front is a 2-part burner. We got the timer going off. Plays a little song every time it's done. So, might need to take a break here for a second and open up the oven. Alright, magical cookies appeared. Ta-da! And you can see they're not quite evenly done. These ones, so this side was to the front, and you can see these ones aren't quite as well done as the ones in the back. The ones in the back were going to get burned if I left them in there, so I brought them out. It's fairly even as far as cooking goes, though. So as I was saying, back here, this burner down in front is a 2-part burner. So you've got a large surface, and if you hit this little selection button right here, it'll turn on both of those burners. Or there's the smaller surface in the middle. So you've got your big burner that converts to a small burner, big burner over here, small burner, and a warming zone back here. With this burner right in the front on the left, it's the Ultra Heat Power Boil. I think LG said it's it is the most powerful element on the market right now, and it's supposed to boil faster than any other element. So I did a back-to-back. We had a tea kettle, and I did it on my old stove, which was, you know, the same type of smooth top, glass top stove, and it took 8 minutes and 45 seconds for the full pot to boil, starting from room temperature, and this one did it in 8 minutes. So it's a slight improvement. It's not an earth-shattering improvement in boiling speed, though. Alright, so when you're baking, you've actually got a light that you can turn on and off. And there you go, you can see inside. You got your rack of cookies there, and if we lower it down a little bit more, I think we can get might be able to get a view of the fan. Maybe not. But there's a convection fan right behind that rack of cookies. And it's not on right now. I'm just using a traditional bake. But if you're doing some meat that you want to sear in, or if you're doing a whole bunch of cookies on multiple racks, you can turn the convection on, and it'll cook things. It's supposed to be faster. It's supposed to be evener. Although more even. But I do have, you know, I have put meatballs in on convection, and it crisped up the outside and kept the insides juicy, but it did cook them a little bit unevenly. So it's not perfectly even cooking. The back cooks a little bit faster in this one than the front does, actually. Alright, so here's the oven interior. You can see it's got an oven light that comes on. Let's see if I can't really shade that. Oh, there we go. And it's all blue enamel on the inside, and you can see the fan is just spinning down. The fan doesn't make any noise. It's nice and quiet, and the bearings are good on that. And you can see there's a ton of room on the inside here. There's no exposed bottom element either. The broiling element is exposed up on the top. And you've got your thermocouple, I believe, up there in the top as well. So the oven can self-regulate its temperature. So anyway, and I think you can see the back heating element, glowing red back there as well. So close that back up. The racks are configurable. Alright, so I've got some potatoes here. There's a special recipe, and now the world is aware of it. It's cubed potatoes with a little bit of salt, olive oil, some crushed garlic, and oregano on top of it. So anyway, I'm going to try out the Convection Bake feature of this, because I always like them a little bit brown and crispy, and the convection is supposed to do great with that. So to do that, you hit Convection Bake up top here, and I've already got it preheated. So when you type in the degrees you want and hit start, it plays its little deal, and that's just telling you it's up to heat, and then you can go ahead and start. So it's up to temperature, otherwise you'd wait for it to do that. It plays its little Zelda theme song almost, and then go ahead and put this in. It usually takes about 45 minutes to an hour. We'll see if it gets done a little bit faster with convection. Go ahead and start the timer, and we'll say 40 minutes to start with. Alright, it's been just about, 33 minutes because I started this at 40, and I've rotated this once because it was a little uneven. The back looks a little bit faster, but these are just about perfectly done. So that shaved off good, 7 minutes early here, and then another 10. That shaved off about 10 to 15, or 10 to 20 minutes of cooking for these. They normally take an hour. I was done in 33 this time, an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. They're done in 33 minutes, so the convection oven really works. Does a great job. They're nice and crispy on the outside. You can see they're browned. Can't wait to eat these. Alright, so one of the big downsides to this oven, it does not have a self-cleaning feature. It's got an easy clean feature, which at the time I got it, I thought that meant self-cleaning. But it doesn't. So you'd think, it doesn't get much easier than self-cleaning, so that's easy clean, right? No. Actually, with easy clean, you actually have to get in and scrape it a little bit. So what you do is you spray the interior with water, you run the easy clean cycle, and it's supposed to get off light soil. So LG's instruction manual for this basically says, do this often and don't let heavy soil build up, because this one doesn't have a self-cleaning feature. Well, life happens and you don't always get to clean up little messes, so that's kind of a big detractor for it for me. It doesn't have the self-cleaning feature that turns all the junk in there to ash. So the easy clean feature, it is supposed to be this coating on the inside, the blue coating. It's supposed to come, release dirt and soil more readily than other oven coatings. So it doesn't have that going for it, and you can see I haven't done a ton of cooking in here, and the inside's fairly immaculate. So I haven't had a chance to really test the easy clean feature out, but I'm not looking forward to doing it often and doing it manually rather than just pushing a button and letting it go for several hours and having it done. So it is supposed to use less energy because you're not heating your oven up to 500 degrees and you're not letting it run for hours at that temperature. So the easy clean feature probably will save you money in the long run, but it's a lot of extra effort. So just keep that in mind. For the price point this one's at, I really think it should have a self-cleaning feature. Our other oven that was a lot cheaper had a self-cleaning feature on it. This one's just got easy clean. So keep that in mind. Alright, so one thing that was a little bit of a disappointment with this oven, and that comes with a trade-off for the big amount of oven space that you have, is the storage drawer is way smaller than our old oven. So it's just the height of this. You don't have much extra space. You've got like a 4-inch deep or so drawer right here, and anything you can't fit in this, it's not going to fit. So we had like 2 or 3 more pans and dishes and skillets in here in our old oven, and so what you're sacrificing in storage space, you're gaining in oven space. But just keep that in mind. So if you're, got a really cramped kitchen, you're going to lose some storage space here to more oven capacity. And here's the front view. You've got the handle that sticks out a little bit past the counters. It's got a little bit more depth than the old oven we had. It's about sticks out probably about a 2-inch total out past the edge of the counter. One of that inches is actually oven top. The rest is handle right here. So it's a little bit deeper than the previous one here, and you can look up the specs on how deep it is on Home Depot's website or wherever they're selling it. But overall, it's a good upgrade to a standard glass top with an analog controls. If glass top is your thing, I know a lot of people swear by I gotta have my gas stove and whatever, but if you don't have gas run to your house, chances are you're not gonna buy a gas oven and have the bill for having a technician run the gas out. So overall, I like this thing. It does a pretty good job of baking. Like I said, I'd like it if it was a little bit more even, especially, I've done convection baking. It doesn't come out perfectly even either. So that was a little bit of a disappointment, but the convection does take a big, it cuts down on your baking time a lot when you're doing convection. So that's a big plus for this over a traditional oven. So overall, it's got a thumbs up. There are a little bit, here and there, a little bit of improvements I'd like, a little bit more user-friendly with these burners over there, but overall, good oven.